Emma Bennett had always felt like a question mark. She was raised in a quiet foster home in a small town outside London. Her foster parents, sweet but distant, gave her food, shelter, and rules, but never answers. Anytime Emma asked where she came from, they simply said, "You were left at the hospital. No note, no name, just you and that necklace." That necklace, a delicate silver chain with a tiny faded pendant shaped like a lion's head. Emma had worn it since she could remember, though it had never meant much. Until now. On her 22nd birthday, Emma packed her thrift store handbag and moved to London to chase a life bigger than her questions. She worked tables by day and took online business classes by night. One rainy afternoon, an older woman came into the cafe where Emma worked. She stared at Emma's necklace so long it made Emma uncomfortable. "Where did you get that?" the woman finally asked, her voice trembling. Emma blinked. "I've had it all my life." "Why?" The woman went pale. "That belonged to... Never mind." But it wasn't never mind. That moment would unravel everything Emma thought she knew about who she was. Emma stepped out from behind the counter, heart suddenly racing. "Wait, do you know something about this necklace?" The woman hesitated. Her hands trembled as she clutched her purse. "It's not my place to say," she whispered, glancing around the cafe nervously. "Just be careful. That necklace doesn't just belong to anyone." With that, she turned and left, disappearing into the rain before Emma could stop her. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. She kept staring at the lion pendant, tracing its grooves like it might whisper something back. The woman's words looped in her head. That necklace doesn't just belong to anyone. She did a reverse image search. Nothing. She posted it on a local forum. No answers. But 2 days later, a private message popped up from a user with no profile picture. "We need to talk. It's about your necklace. Don't trust anyone." Attached was a blurry photo, an old one, a baby wrapped in a velvet blanket, wearing the same necklace. Emma's fingers shook. The baby looked like her. She messaged back immediately. "Who are you?" The response came instantly. "Someone who owes your mother the truth." The message included a location, Hyde Park, near the old fountain. By noon, come alone. Emma barely slept. Her thoughts spiraled with impossible questions. Who was her mother? Why had no one come for her? Why the warning? Don't trust anyone. The next day, clouds loomed low as she approached the fountain. Cold wind tugged at her coat. She waited, heart pounding. A man in his 50s emerged from behind a line of trees. He looked sharp, expensive coat, polished shoes, but his eyes darted like someone used to danger. He stopped a few feet away. "You're Emma." She nodded slowly. "Who are you?" "My name's Daniel Cross. I worked for your family for years." Emma blinked. "My family?" He lowered his voice. "Your mother's name was Eleanor Hawthorne. She was one of the most powerful women in London." Emma froze. The Hawthorne name was everywhere. Wealth, real estate, politics. Impossible. Daniel glanced around. "She didn't die in a car crash like the papers said. She was eliminated, and you were hidden to protect you." Emma's knees nearly gave way. "Someone in the family didn't want you to survive, and I'm afraid they may already know you're looking." Emma gripped the edge of the stone fountain, her mind spinning. "Eliminated?" she whispered. "Are you saying my mother was murdered?" Daniel nodded grimly. She was preparing to reveal something that would have shifted power in the Hawthorne estate. Days before, her car was found at the bottom of a ravine, but no one questioned it. The story was managed. Emma swallowed hard. "And me? Why was I hidden?" "You were her only child. She knew they'd come for you next." Daniel pulled something from his coat, an envelope, yellowed and worn. "She asked me to deliver this when the time was right. I've been watching, waiting. When I saw your post about the necklace, I knew." Emma opened the envelope slowly. Inside was a faded letter. "My sweet Emma, if you're reading this, I'm gone. But you must know, you are not alone. You are my legacy, my voice when I can no longer speak. Trust no one, not even family. They took everything from me. They will not take you too. Mom tears blurred Emma's vision. Daniel's voice dropped. They don't know you're alive. Yet. But now that you're asking questions, he looked over his shoulder. You're in danger. Emma followed Daniel out of the park, her thoughts tangled in fear and disbelief. He spoke in low tones as they walked. There's one name you need to remember. Victoria Hawthorne. Your mother's half-sister, ruthless, calculating. She inherited the fortune after Eleanor's accident, but it wasn't hers to take. Emma's heart pounded. She's the one who tried to... Daniel nodded. She was always envious of your mother. When Eleanor got pregnant with you, everything changed. You were the threat. They stopped near Daniel's black car. He opened the door and handed her a folder. Inside, you'll find your birth certificate, DNA proof, and photographs. Everything tying you to the Hawthornes. Emma opened the folder. Her name was listed under Emma Eleanor Hawthorne. Her mother's face stared up from a photo, smiling, proud, and holding baby Emma. You need to stay hidden, Daniel said, until we figure out who else knows. But Emma shook her head. Number, I've lived my life in the shadows. I'm not hiding anymore. Daniel's jaw tightened. Then at least be smart. If Victoria finds out you're alive... His phone buzzed. He checked it and went pale. They already know. Daniel's hands trembled as he passed Emma the phone. A message was displayed in bold red text. She surfaced. The girl is alive. No sender, no number. Emma's stomach dropped. They're tracking us? Daniel nodded. Victoria's people are everywhere. She owns tech firms, private security, even media channels. If she knows you're alive, she'll do what she should have done 22 years ago. Emma clutched the folder to her chest. We need to go to the police. Daniel scoffed. The Hawthornes fund the mayor's campaign. They own half of Scotland Yard. The law won't help you. A black SUV rolled slowly past the alley. Tinted windows. No license plate. Daniel stepped in front of her. Get in the car, now. They sped through the city, weaving through back streets until Daniel pulled into a crumbling garage beneath an abandoned factory. This is where I've been staying, he said. No cameras, no eyes. Emma sat in the corner, still shaking. So what now? I pretend I don't exist? Daniel crouched beside her. Number, now we prepare to take back what's yours. He paused. Starting with the one person still loyal to your mother. Emma looked up. Who? Daniel's eyes hardened. Her former bodyguard. His name was Marcus Hale. Former military. Quiet. Brutal when needed. He'd once taken a bullet for Eleanor Hawthorne. After her death, he vanished. Rumors said he lived off-grid, somewhere near the coastal cliffs in Devon. Daniel drove through the night, headlights cutting through misty roads. Emma barely spoke. She clutched the folder like a lifeline, her mind replaying the names, the lies, the warnings. When they arrived at the weathered cabin nestled in pine trees, Daniel knocked twice, paused, then knocked 3 times quickly. The door creaked open. A tall black man with cold eyes and graying stubble appeared. He didn't look surprised. Took you long enough, Marcus growled. His gaze shifted to Emma. She has her mother's eyes. Emma stepped forward. Did you know her? I protected her, loved her in my own way, and I failed her. Marcus let them inside. The place was Spartan. Maps, weapons, and old photos filled the walls. In one, Eleanor stood beside him, smiling. She knew this day would come, Marcus said. She left me instructions. He opened a hidden drawer and handed Emma a sealed metal case. She wanted you to have this if you ever came. Emma opened it and gasped. Inside the metal case was a sleek black flash drive, wrapped in velvet, and a folded note written in neat cursive. To Emma, when the world tries to erase your voice, this will help you speak louder than ever. Mom Emma stared at it, hands trembling. What's on it? Marcus nodded to an old laptop on his desk. Daniel inserted the flash drive, and a single file appeared. Hawthorne, Dr. Trust to Rothschild, final.pdf. They opened it. Emma's jaw dropped. It wasn't just a will. It was a legal document naming Emma Eleanor Hawthorne as the rightful heir to the Hawthorne family fortune. Assets worth over £480 million. More shocking, the document had been signed, notarized, and dated just 1 week before Eleanor's accident. Daniel exhaled. She knew they were coming for her. This was her insurance. Marcus leaned in. If you go public with this, it's war. Victoria won't let you walk into the spotlight with that name. She'll burn down half the city to stop it. Emma straightened. Then it's time we brought the spotlight to her doorstep. Outside the cabin, tires crunched over gravel. Daniel peeked through the blinds. Too late. 3 black SUVs surrounded them. Marcus didn't wait. Out the back, now! He shoved open a trap door beneath the rug, revealing a narrow tunnel carved into the ground. It leads to the forest edge. Emma grabbed the flash drive. Daniel scooped up the folder. Gunshots cracked through the front door. Marcus rolled over a table and returned fire. Emma crawled into the tunnel, Daniel close behind. Don't wait for me, Marcus shouted. Protect her! They emerged in the forest, breathless and muddy. Branches whipped their faces as they ran. Behind them, headlights cut through the trees and dogs barked. They're tracking us, Daniel panted. We need noise, chaos. Emma spotted a deserted farm road ahead. This way. A rusted delivery truck sat abandoned by the gate. Daniel hotwired it, barely. As they drove, Emma looked back. Marcus's cabin was in flames. Tears welled in her eyes. He stayed behind. Daniel gripped the wheel. He bought us time. They pulled into a gas station miles away. Daniel opened the glove compartment and pulled out a burner phone. We send the file to every media outlet, every lawyer, every ally Eleanor ever had. Emma took a breath. Let's wake the world up. She hit send. By morning, London was on fire, figuratively. News outlets blasted headlines. Lost Hawthorne heiress found alive? Was Eleanor Hawthorne murdered? Victoria Hawthorne accused of conspiracy, cover-up. The documents had gone viral. Every major journalist, law firm, and media blogger had copies. Emma's name was trending globally. Photos of her as a child alongside Eleanor were plastered everywhere. Daniel drove her through back roads toward the city. They'll come for damage control, he warned. Victoria's people will deny it all, claim you're a fraud. Emma stared out the window. Let them try. The truth is louder. They stopped at an old friend's law office, Daniel's last favor. Inside, lawyers reviewed the documents, nodding solemnly. She's real, one said, and this will destroy Victoria's hold on the estate. But the streets weren't safe. As they left, a black car swerved in front of them. Men in suits stepped out. Victoria's private security. Emma's door was ripped open. She was dragged out screaming. Daniel lunged, throwing a punch, but was tackled. A cold voice echoed from behind the chaos. Well, well, said a woman in a white coat. You really are your mother's daughter. Emma turned and stared into the eyes of Victoria Hawthorne. Emma sat handcuffed in a leather chair, deep inside Victoria's glass-walled penthouse. The city lights shimmered behind her, but all she felt was rage. Victoria stood by the fireplace, swirling a glass of red wine like she owned the sky. You've stirred quite the mess, she said calmly. The media frenzy, lawyers digging into old graves, very theatrical. Emma glared. You tried to erase me. No, Victoria replied coolly. I tried to erase a problem. And look, you've returned like a ghost. She walked closer. You think people care about truth? They care about control, about perception. You have a flash drive. I have half of Parliament. Emma's jaw tightened. You won't get away with this. Oh, I already have, but I'll offer you one chance. Victoria slid a thick contract across the table. Sign this. Renounce your claim. Walk away. I'll wire you £10 million and disappear. Emma stared at the paper. 10 million, freedom, silence. But then she thought of Marcus, of her mother, of Daniel. She looked Victoria dead in the eye. I'm not for sale. Victoria smiled coldly. Then prepare to be erased. Again. But Emma had one more move to make. She hit record on the hidden mic under her jacket. Victoria's smile vanished as Emma stood, calm and fearless. You know what I've learned? Emma said, slowly unbuttoning her jacket and revealing the blinking recorder beneath. Power doesn't come from money, it comes from truth. She dropped the recorder onto the table. Victoria lunged for it, too late. A beep echoed from Emma's phone. Live streaming, 6,000 viewers and climbing. Daniel burst through the doors seconds later, flanked by two high-powered attorneys and a BBC journalist Emma had tipped off the night before. Within minutes, Victoria was swarmed. Ms. Hawthorne, care to comment on threatening your niece and admitting to a cover-up on camera? Victoria screamed. Her empire crumbled. Over the following weeks, courts ruled in Emma's favor. DNA confirmed everything. Fraud, conspiracy, attempted murder. Victoria faced them all. Her assets were frozen. Her face, once beloved by tabloids, now stained every headline. Emma didn't take the entire fortune. She reopened her mother's foundation, built housing for girls like her, funded scholarships, changed lives. 1 year later, as she stood on the balcony of her restored family estate, she whispered, "Mom, we made it." The wind answered. Emma smiled, strong and unbreakable. She wasn't the lost girl anymore. She was Emma Eleanor Hawthorne, and the world finally knew it. Marcus survived the cabin fire, barely. He'd been pulled from the wreckage by locals and spent 3 weeks in a rural hospital under an alias. When he recovered, he reappeared at Emma's estate, standing quietly at the gate. She hugged him like family. Marcus never left again. He became head of security at the Hawthorne Foundation, protecting the legacy he once failed to save. This time, he didn't miss. As for Daniel, the man who risked everything to bring Emma the truth, she gave him more than thanks. She named him director of the Hawthorne Trust. "Eleanor trusted you," she told him. "So do I." And for the first time in years, Daniel didn't look over his shoulder. He just smiled. The moral lesson of this story is that truth always finds its way to the light, no matter how long it's been buried. Even when the world tries to silence you, your voice, your identity, and your legacy cannot be erased if you have the courage to fight back.